What is the most extreme thing you've done to win an argument? Landlord said I was smoking cigarettes in the apartment to try and evict me. Bought a couple dozen cotinine piss tests and gave the judge the pictures of all the tests. The case was dismissed with prejudice and the landlord was given a formal warning for lying. I still ended up moving out because the lease was month to month, but I still won a small battle against that piece of shit. Not me, but my high school chemistry teacher. He had been arguing for days that blue blood isn't actually blue. That's just how your veins look through your skin because the blood is deoxygenated. Our class clown David, however, persisted. Blue blood is blue. So one day Mr. N went into the science supply closet and came back out with a vacuum and a syringe. Pulled out his sleeve and drew blood in front of the whole class into a vacuum to prove that your blue blood is, in fact, just dark red. David never said it was blue again. This reminds me, one time when I was 10, my dad dared me to get on our hoverboard and go zooming down our street crouched on it. My dad didn't take it seriously, but I did. I hopped on it, crouched, then locked my arms underneath my legs and leaned forward. I was flying and it was honestly fun until I hit a bump and went flying across the road. The entire left side of my body had been cut up and scarred and I had to wear gauze for like 2 months. I looked like a half mummy. Each day my mom made me take off the gauze and put special medicine on everything. The worst thing about it was that my skin would heal, but it would heal into the gauze. So each night I would rip my skin off again to put medicine on to heal my skin. Sometimes it was like ripping off dead skin and sometimes it hurt real bad. All because my dad dared me to do something stupid because he didn't think I would do it. Worth it though. Not me, but a high school friend on Thanksgiving got into an argument with his uncle of a polar opposite political vantage point. Started as just shouting and nothing really to write home about, but it began escalating to the point where he called my friend just an idealistic kid who doesn't know shit about the real world, which prompted my friend to yell real funny coming from a man with fake hair. Room goes silent and his uncle is fuming. He rips off his toupee and throws it against the wall, then proceeds to scream "You happy now?" before continuing the argument. I made a post on Facebook that my sister didn't like. She's in her 50s. She made fun of me in a comment on the post, so I commented back that she doesn't know what she's talking about. My sister does not like to be told off. She thinks she is better than everyone and that no one has a right to speak to her if they disagree. She is against gays and she says all black people are prejudiced against white people because they are jealous. I put up with a lot of stupid ideas just to have her in my life. Well, once I commented back to her on my Facebook page, she lost it, sent me a nasty message, then put me on block. I have a few pages on Facebook for other things and she went to all those pages and told me off as well. So I told Facebook she was dead. They memorialized her account within 24 hours and she could no longer sign in. Dude insisted he was better than me at Guitar Hero. I could beat TTFAF on Expert, so I was no slouch. I ended up brining my PS2, GH3 and guitar controller to school, commandeered a TV on the rolling cart, brought it to homeroom and demanded he prove he was better. He completely refused. It was crazy satisfying. If you're reading this, Morgan, I haven't played GH since 2013 and I'm still better than you. I worked in a tattoo shop for a few years as a body pisser. One day a girl came in and she had a bunch of tattoos and piercings already, but she wanted a 10-gram piercing through her cartilage on her left ear. I said no problem. We happen to have 10 grams needles on hand and 10 grams jewelry. Now to clarify, 14 grams is normal starting size, and as the numbers get smaller the hole gets bigger. She started freaking out and said, "OMG, you can't just use a 10-gram needle, you have to use a 14-gram, then a tapper to stretch it." I looked at her and said, "Lady, that would hurt like hell. I have 8 grams needles. Back there I have used on people's ears before with no problem. Hell, I'll do my own cartilage with one right now just to show you." She said there was no way I could do that. I made her go back and watch as I got everything ready for my piercing and hers. I got the clamp on, took a big deep breath and jammed that thing right through. She went white as a ghost and muttered out, "Holy shit, you're crazy." I ended up doing what she wanted and she tipped me double cause she said it didn't hurt at all. I still have the piercing and to this day. I was in a classroom with a ceiling fan. A couple of kids said I couldn't catch it and I said that I could. So I climbed on a desk and jumped up and caught it. It wasn't moving that fast. I'm not really a professional at this. And then it kind of fell out of the ceiling a bit and also some of the ceiling fell out a bit. And then I got kicked out of that school and went and lived in another state for a while. So that escalated quickly. In prison me and my cellmate watched the film Pompeii and he said Pompeii was on an island when I knew for a fact it wasn't. Next day I went into the prison guard's office and could smell cigarette smoke on the prison guard. Smoking had just been banned, no one was allowed to smoke in the prison, not even guards. So I said if you print me off a map of where Pompeii is I won't tell anyone about you smoking. He printed it. I showed it to me cellmate. I was right. Victory. Yep. I actually blackmailed a prison guard to win a petty argument Lomfeo. Not me but my dad. I don't remember all the exact details but it goes something like this. Dad is in his early 20s driving some junker car. He passes a parked cop who pulls him over for speeding. Dad decides to go to court instead of paying for the ticket. He represents himself in court. He displayed a diagram of what his car looked like, even brought physics to the table with the time it would take for him to have accelerated to that specific speed that the cop clocked him at after a stop sign on the street, even down to the time of day and how wet the pavement was and how that came into play. Literally calls the cop to the stand and asks him when the last time he calibrated his radar gun was and made the cop look super stupid. The cop hadn't calibrated it when he was supposed to. Dad doesn't have to pay the ticket and gets out of it. I asked if he actually was speeding and he said oh absolutely I was. I also ran that stop sign on the road which was why I was able to drive so fast past the cop. Ot him. When I was new at my school, I was constantly bullied and picked on by this one kid and didn't have much people to back me up considering no one knew me too well. Well, we happened to be in the same homeroom, and he left his brand new Mac on the table when he went to go the bathroom. Me seeing this as an opportunity for revenge, I grabbed his computer and tossed it in the nearest bin I saw. I soon came to realize I had thrown his Mac into the glass disposal bin. I was too afraid to retrieve it, so I just left it there. When he came back he was scared shitless considering the thing cost like $1,300. He never found it and everyone just left school and would look for it tomorrow. Turns out the Mac got put into the dumpster and destroyed. Oh well. Not me but I was in the car when this happened. Out of 4 of us, the driver and a passenger were getting heated over whether you could bake a pizza with salsa instead of tomato sauce. The driver ended up pulling over to the side of a neighborhood road after threatening to stop the car. One of them said something along the lines of, "IT wouldn't work you fucking dickhead," and next thing we know, the two are duking it out on someone's lawn. They weren't actually angry and were playing things up for a bit but still, just imagine 2 people throwing hands over pizza. So I was 14 at the time. My sister was 4 years old and my stepdad has a daughter from another marriage and she was 10 at that time. So one time my stepsister punched my sister multiple times and attacked her with a hairdryer, and when I pushed my stepsister my stepdad told me that his daughter was better and my sister was a bitch and my mom agreed with him. Why mom? Why? So I stole his car and sold it, broke into his house. He was living at my mom's house because it was bigger, and stole everything and sold them, and around 5 years later, I secretly recorded my stepsister and her boyfriend having sex and sent it to everyone I knew and put it on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram etc, which they all got deleted, but man that felt good. I was a regular at this bar before the shutdown. I had seen this cute girl here a couple times. We knew a couple of the same people and had said hi before. Well, one night she was fucking hammered and came up to me out of nowhere and asked if I was gay. I'm a dude. I laughed it off and said no, but she just refused to believe me, so I kissed her with some vigor and asked, "Believe me now?" Talking about birthmarks, he said, "Got one behind my ear." I said, "Mine is on my nuts." He got upset saying I was trying to upstage him. You know, because having a birthmark is so cool and something worth bragging about, right? So after him sulking and carrying on for 15 minutes, yes he was drunk and is a little bitch, I unzipped my fly, whipped out my nutsack and showed him.